Okay, today we are going to talk about the injectable PLA, and Patrick hoped me to start talking about two issues. The first one is the way of reconstitution, and the second issue would be the massage. And we know that we can classify the filler into three different categories, including the first one is permanent filler, just like Aquamate. And the second one is semi-permanent filler, the PLA, and also the temporary filler, which is the HA or the collagen filler. And we know that, and this is what it looked, the sculpture got a small cake in the bottom of the vial. And when we are going to use it, we have to add the distilled water into the bottle and form it like this. And according to the instructions of the sculptor, we have to add water at least 2 hours before we are going to inject the filler. But when you just only put the water into the vial for 2 hours, it still has some big particle that will crack our needle. So usually I will make the suspension for up to 24 hours or 48 hours. Then we will have more smooth injection period. But you know that when we are, that the patient came and then said, well, you have to wait 24 or 48 hours, usually we will lose the patient. So I try to find a way to make a speed reconstitution. And this is the control group. And you can see the diagram here. The black line here is the particle size smaller than 60 micrometer. As I show you in the previous slide, the particle size of the sculpture is ranged from 40 to 63. So if we measure the particle size smaller than 60, it means that the oil suspension rate.
So this is a very common for patients who receive PLA injection to get facial overfill syndrome. And you know, facial disfiguration is very common, especially when doctor inject more than what the patient needs. Probably the proliferation of a collagen cannot be expected in the beginning after injection. But since we know the collagen production probably cannot be expected in the beginning, so we have to be conservative to treat our patient. So in the beginning, we know if we dilute the PLA at a lower or smaller volume, that will get more higher incidence of the granuloma inflammation or more granuloma formation. But if we dilute more, for example, here it's about 5 milliliter dilution, the incidence rate of the granuloma formation will be less than that in 3 milliliter dilution. So how I prepare PLA? First of all, I usually would like to dilute with 4 millimeter water plus 1 cc of lidocaine. In total, it will be 5 cc. And from that, the so-called original reconstitution, doctor can dilute 2 times to 4 times to get different concentration. Then the 4 different way to inject the patient for different purpose. So for example.
Okay, so my topic today is to mix PLA and HA. And I have very limited experience with Estafil, so the PLA that I'm talking about today is mainly Sculptra. So when I inject Sculptra, and when I want to mix Sculptra with HA, the reconstitution volume I use is 2 or 4 or 8 ml of this distilled water without lidocaine. And before jumping to the proportions that I use, I want to talk a little bit about why I initially mixed the 2 products. I think it is the unevenness of suspension or the aggregation of multiple particles of PLA that cause the needle clogging during the injection process. A single particle of PLA is smaller than the diameter of needles we use. So the added HA helps the insufficient CMC in the sculpture to suspend the particles more evenly for a longer period of time. As we know, a bottle of sculpture contains 90 milligrams of CMC, but it was never made for 8 mils of reconstitution. It was, if you can recall, when sculpture was first introduced in 2004, the reconstitution volume they used was 3 mils, and they gradually increased the reconstitution to 8 mils to reduce the nodule formation. But the CMC is not enough. So this table illustrates the often used proportions in terms of volume that I use when I mix the two products.
Andreas, thank you so much.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'm very happy that you joined us this time. And this,
I will call you. I will call you. We organize something nice also in the future.
Yeah, okay, no problem. I'll be very happy to be part of your group. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Naren. Thank you.
Welcome. It's my pleasure to join it.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you.